Hey, how are y'all? It has been a second since I've done like a little life update kind of video. Not exactly sure where to start. I do want to say this right off the bat before you click off, because I know this is not like the kind of video that everybody wants to necessarily see. But I do want to let you know that I am filming an Indian accent video today, so I'm not sure if that video is going to come out before this video or if I'm going to flip it. Unsure. I will decide that later. That's a later me decision. I want to focus on doing this right now. I guess we're doing soft-spoken ASMR because I'm using like my actual voice instead of my whisper voice, because they sound and feel solidly different. But it's weird that the whisper voice actually feels like it puts more strain on my like throat than just talking in my actual voice. It's probably a comfort thing also, because like you can physically feel that you're talking from like a different spot in your body. Like in your whisper voice, you pretty much have to talk with your throat versus with your normal voice. Ideally, you should be talking with, I believe it's your diaphragm or your chest. Anyone who's taken like vocal lessons or something watching this probably knows the answer way better than I do. For the Indian accent video, I'm doing like a guided breathing thing mixed with like one of those like old like helping you to nap videos. So that's a more broader appeal kind of video. This is more just for like the few of y'all who like it when I talk about myself a little bit. So yeah, I don't know why I'm blanking so hard. I really kind of went to this video without a plan. I just knew that like I wanted to make a video because I'm really inconsistent about that, and it's just like when you're feeling it for making content, then like, you know, you should just make a ton of it that day. Like, you have an idea, you should just do it that day. And like, today was just one of those days. I woke up and I had a ton of free time, and I was like, I'm going to make ASMR because it's been a while. I definitely don't think my soft-spoken voice is nearly as relaxing as like my whisper voice or like my Indian accent voice, because obviously that's what a lot of people come to the channel for, and a lot of them come to the channel because they like this voice. And then like in second place is this voice, and then this is probably in third place. Plus my voice sounds different than it did literally like 2 or 3 years ago, because I realized that like I used to talk with like a much higher pitched voice on purpose back when I was like really shy, because I thought it would make people like feel more comfortable around me and like me more. And I've had to teach myself that that is a terrible thing to do, actually. You shouldn't have to change who you are to make people like you. And it turns out that just like being yourself and not questioning that too much is significantly easier. So, here's me kind of just like owning that, I guess. It's not like I talked with a high-pitched voice, but it's not like I have this like insanely like deep voice that I'm trying to mask. Like, I didn't like walk in there and be like, people think I'm like a robot or something of that sort, you know. I have a normal boy voice. That's oh, that's headass. But yeah, what are my big life updates? I'm not really here to talk too much about like mental health stuff. I don't want to use this necessarily as my journal unless I feel like there's some advice that I can impart on someone else. One of the things I have been thinking about doing is just like hitting record, doing a video like this, but it not being ASMR, it just like being on like my other channel and be like, oh, like let me talk about a topic that I know like like a lot about like if you want advice on like college or academics, I can do that. Advice on like mental health stuff, and like how to overcome certain things, especially as like if you're trying to become like a more high functioning person who deals with like depression, anxiety, like ADHD, autism. Those are all like areas that like I've had to study intensely so that I can be a high functioning individual. I didn't assign that title to myself. That feels slightly narcissistic. My therapist did. Because she was just like looking at like the smorgasbord of stuff that I've been diagnosed with, and she's like, you're oddly high functioning given the everything, which I guess feels nice, but it also means that I put like an immense amount of pressure on myself because I try to treat myself like someone who doesn't have any of those things, and that's not always being fair to myself. And I'm sure plenty of y'all might find yourself in the same bucket of comparing yourself to people who don't have to deal with the things that you have to deal with, and then getting upset when you don't have the same end result as them. But the thing is owning those parts of you allows you to have a better result, because it's the result that's like intended for you. And that is something that I'm trying to own and hold myself accountable to, that I am not just like a comparison to every other thing that like I find like aspirational or that I want. I have very distinctly my own path, and so do you. And as soon as both of us own that, we'll be way better off, because we're not trying to be something that we're not. But yeah, life updates. So I feel like some of you guys know this, but I work in tech, and I have for the last 5 years. I've definitely said that I'm not the biggest fan of like corporate life. I feel like that's just become a more prevalent thing to be open about. And recently my company did massive layoffs. They laid most of my team off. I was part of that, so currently unemployed. Super, super fun, enjoying it a lot. That sounds sarcastic. It's not. Being unemployed has been really, really great. I mean, the paying bills part, not great. But I did save a ton of money for like a rainy day. And it's been a rainy many days, but you know, that's okay. But the reason why I said it's actually been really good is one of the things that hasn't happened in the last 5 years is I haven't had the chance to rest. And I would say for like the first like a week or two of unemployment, I was just catching up on like 5 years of lost sleep, because for like 5 years I averaged working anywhere from like the typical 40 hours to like pushing over 100, and you just have a sleep deficit by default when that happens. So catching up on rest has been great. Catching up on my social life, like getting to see my friends and spending good quality time with them, not just like catching them for like a quick coffee or like a quick meal and be like, cool, I'll see you in 2 years and we'll catch up again. But like spending really good quality time with them, because I don't have to be like, hey, cool, I can only be here for like an hour and I gotta dip, because you're just like starting to scratch the surface like an hour in when you're hanging out with like a close friend. And it has been so great to feel like I'm reconnecting with my friends and feel like I'm almost re-understanding and re-appreciating why all of them are in my life. And I hope I'm doing the same for them, and they, you know, get to like confirm again why they picked me as a person who gets to occupy up their mental and physical space. And that's been incredibly rewarding. And it's easy, I think, when you like lose a job or something like that, to feel like you don't have value, because you assign all of your values based on the fact of like what your output at work is. Like, you could be having a great time with friends, but you're doing terrible at work, and that's the thing that's like on your mind. And like removing yourself from the outcome and realize that you're not simply like just a worker is really rewarding. It's like community is kind of one of the things that like I feel like life is all about. I mean, don't quote me on that. I'm literally 27. What do I know? I'm still feel like a big kid. But it's actually been really good. Obviously, I wish I could do this forever, and I can't because you need money for a lot of things, so I'm kind of like in a dilemma of, do I just like go back to a corporate job, the thing that I've like essentially trained my entire life. Like, you start training for it in like literal elementary school, like how to become a good worker, and go back, probably make decent money, or is now the time to like make my own thing and not be like a part of that. Like, I'm not gonna try to be like, do like, ooh, we're all in like the Matrix or whatever like that, but it is suffocating to be like that. And I feel like most of you have felt that before at some point or another. I mean, maybe you found a job that you really like, the people are really great, the work feels aligned with things that you're good at. But a lot of people also feel miserable. They trained for something that doesn't even feel inherently true to who they are. They're probably being underpaid for that thing. And when they're done doing the thing, done working, like, they don't have energy to do much else besides make sure that they eat dinner, get some sleep, and then just do it again. I don't want to have to do that again, but finances are the big limiting factor. If I can find a way to like financially do something else, whether it's like make content or do something like adjacent to that, or something completely different. I'm not sure. Definitely open to suggestions. And I'll still try to do this because this is fun for me, even though like I know like ads run on my video. Like, full transparency, I think my YouTube channel made me like $70 last year. So, it's like not anything that will cover much. That's not groceries. That's like, it's not even filling up gas twice. Well, this is depressing. So yeah, this is like not obviously like my career. A lot would have to change for it to be my career, which would like stem from me putting in a lot more work. But then, I don't know. I'm always unsure if YouTube is a mix of like luck or skill. But I just like this channel for the little community that's developed out over time. And then just being able to make videos like this where I'm super real on camera and not have to think too deeply or intensely about it, and like sit down with a whiteboard and be like, what is my strategy going to be? How am I going to like approach this, and what is the algorithm like? I don't want to be that person. I just want to do me, and then if you like me, you like me, and then if you like me enough, I'll get ad revenue and sponsors, and then I can pay my bills, and then I can continue to make content that everyone likes, and then maybe one day like I'll like develop like my own products that I feel like are like to people's benefit. Like, you'll literally never catch me making merch with like my channel name on it. I think that's dumb. Unless like your brand makes sense with that. Like, if I saw a shirt with my name on it, I would cringe so hard. It's just like not my thing. But I would love to design clothes at some point in my life and make it that like a charitable thing. I would love to write a book. I kind of already know what it's going to be about. It's a matter of giving myself the time and energy and space to doing that, because I've never written a book before. I don't think I've ever written anything longer than like 50 pages in my life, and that's like research papers. So no, I've written like a 150-page research paper before, but again, completely different writing style than prose. What else do I want to accomplish? I want to get better at dancing. I feel like I neglected that for like the last like few years, so trying to get back into that and like making sure that like physically like I'm on the health level of like where I was when I was in like college, which I'm pretty close. I really haven't aged much since college. It's been like 5 or 6 years, so that's nice. But yeah, this is just an interesting transitionary period of my life, and I'm just trying to figure that all out. I am not making this video saying that I have this elaborate plan of what I'm going to do next. I don't know. It's kind of exciting. I used to reframe that and like talk to myself like, oh my god, like you're unemployed. You don't know what you're doing. Like you thought you had this content thing, but like it's not like it actually like makes you like a living or anything like that, but it is super fun for you. And I'm like, I feel like a loser. But that's not the case. Everything like not perfectly working out doesn't make you a loser all of a sudden. It's like a period of time where I get to enjoy this and just find out who I am and what I like. And if I find a way to monetize that without sacrificing who I am, then cool, that can be my career. If I have to go back into corporate America, you know, such is life. Super unideal. Really don't want to do that. Cannot stress that enough. But at some point, I feel like I have to reward all my creative aspirations and put the work towards it. I just have to decide what that looks like for me. So I guess I'm curious because a lot of people have been affected by layoffs or just burnout from their careers, and a lot of people don't know what's next. So if you're still around at this point, which thank you so much, by the way, that's so kind of you to just listen to a random stranger ramble on the internet about what it is he's going through. Like what do you feel like you're going through right now, and what is this like ideal pursuit of yours? And it doesn't have to be something that like you want to like monetize or anything like that. That's just like part of my situation. But if you're just like, you know, like let's say like you're 40 and you're like, I never learned how to play a musical instrument and I deeply regret that, like how are you gonna do that? Because you should. It doesn't mean that you're essentially like all of a sudden gonna like turn into like this like professional, like let's say it's like a professional piano player, and you know you're performing in front of big halls and you're getting paid for it. That doesn't have to be the end goal. I have plenty of creative stuff that I never plan on trying to monetize, like dancing, for example. I love dancing, trying to do it more often. No plans to ever make money from it. I just enjoy it. It makes me feel good, puts my head in a good space. And yeah, you don't have to monetize everything that you're passionate about. That will tear you apart, in my opinion. My situation, though, I have to monetize some of it if I want to, you know, make it as a creative, but not do it in like an obnoxious way either, because that's not the kind of person I'm trying to be at all. So I don't know, I have lots to think about, lots to journal about, chats with my therapist that will happen, but all of that is in due time, and I'll keep y'all posted. But yeah, thanks for listening to me ramble for a little while. This wasn't the most ASMR-y ASMR ever, but I'm gonna upload this, and then I'll drop the Indian accent video super soon. I'd like to decide that that's the ideal order for all of that. So you have that to look forward to. Yeah, I'll see you soon.